What's up guys, Saivo here, and today I'm gonna show you how I play my tank, my warrior tank in the 20-man content, that is raiding. Usually I have a basic build which I use for mostly, for raids, and that build obviously changes depending on what boss we're fighting. You have to keep in mind guys that for raiding, unlike for dungeons, there is no such thing as one build that you're gonna use from the beginning till the end of the raid. Every boss requires you, especially you as a tank, to get different things, be in different positions, and have different skills. So, just as a quick example, in Genetic Archives, the first boss X89, he doesn't need any interrupt skills, so you can take those off your bar. You can find use, for example, of a mobility skill in X89, while on the other hand, the next boss right after him, Kuralak, he needs you to have one interrupt skill, and you don't really find many uses of mobility skills, and taunts are basically useless. So keep that in mind, that your skill build will change according to the boss you're fighting. But I'm gonna show you guys how I run my warrior, and it has done me good. I have absolutely no problem with threat, with being survivable, or with anything else really. So yeah, I also bring lots of utility to my raids because I don't believe in the idea of the potato warrior, the warrior that just does nothing and has a good excuse to do minimal damage just because he's like the support of the raid. So I don't believe in that. That's why me and one other warrior in the raid, one of my good friends, we kind of share the utilities of the warrior class in general. So having that said, I'm gonna start off by showing you guys my skills, what I use. I use obviously Menacing Strike tier 8. For me it's a must-have, so I use it. Next in line, Polarity Field. I don't take Jolt because I run Polarity Field in raids for two reasons. I would take Jolt if I could make it tier 4, which I cannot. Um, and the second reason is that Polarity Field is much easier to cast, and it's a better feeling when you just, cast it and you get it out of the way than Jolt that has a cast time. And of course, you also need to aim it and run at the same time, so it can get a little bit messy. So Polarity Field, much cleaner, much simpler, and it is basic tier, so doesn't make any difference. Other skill that I run, obviously Atomic Surge. This is our, match threat ability, so every warrior should have it, a tank. Bolstering Strike, tier 8, because it's awesome for two things. Number one, threat. Number two, the shield that it gives you. Also, actually, I think it would be a third reason as well, because it's nice and awesome to cast. It doesn't feel clunky. So yeah, really good thing to have. Other than that, I use Smackdown from the Assault tree as a utility skill. I could incorporate it in my build. I'm going to tell you a bit later why. So I use it because I am sparing one of the DPS warriors to use it. It's just like a gesture of goodwill, if you may, if nothing else. Utility, I use, this is, the defense grid is situational, obviously, interrupts situational. Plasma Blast, I mostly always use it in raids, it's just my thing. And obviously Power Link, this is an important thing that I do, tier 8, just so I don't have another DPS warrior use it. Now, the reason why I cannot run Jolt tier 4 in raids, and why I don't run it, is because I am locked with 3 tier 8s. Power Link, Bolstering Strike, and Menacing Strike. So that is the reason why I don't have Jolt. Now, why I run Power Link is to spare another warrior from running it. So the other warrior, a DPS warrior, is running himself Jolt tier 4 because it fits really good in his DPS build. So he is a pure DPS without any excuses that he would do less damage than the other because he's like a support potato. It improves our raid quality overall, and it helps him. Of course, it cripples him a little bit, but the amount that it cripples him is negligible in comparison with if he would run Power Link tier 8 instead of Jolt tier 4. So it would cripple him more running this. because of the amps that you need to go down to get it, and also because of the skill points that you need to spend in it. A lot simpler for me to let a DPS warrior to run Jolt. Now, if you as a warrior tank, for example, don't yet have the knowledge to run a proper raid with power link in your build, then obviously you kind of have to be a bit more survivable, so you wouldn't run this. I would definitely recommend though, even if you're not 100% skilled or 100% practiced, I would still recommend you to run this build. It is an awesome build, it's not hard to execute by any means, and I'm having a lot of success with it, so I thought I would recommend this to you guys as well. Now, amp wise, I go down for the power link. Of course, cooldown reduction, even if you don't have power link, you should still take cooldown reduction. I prefer unyielding and speed burst. You can skip unyielding and take kinetic drive, up to you. Power link I have because of the skill. Here shield capacity, and I have impenetrable because I play around my innate cooldown. I love it. Um, and fortitude, of course, because it's the best thing that the warrior tank ever had. I run support power, I run critical mitigation, and 1 point in deflect because it's extra. Kinetic buffer, of course, reserve power, and full force. Now, full force, this is up to you. If you don't feel like your raid is going full ham YOLO and you feel like you have lots of threat, then you can skip this and take full defense. It's up to you. I don't take the Nubab in raids because I feel that this basically gives you a second life, right? So I feel that if I am to die once, then that shouldn't have happened. So something else, either my bad plays or healers doing something that they shouldn't be doing, um, happened, and then that's why I died. This saving me is not a solution to fix the root cause of the problem in my raid. So I would rather treat the basic problem instead of me having two lives and always basically covering up some mistakes. I don't like to do mistakes, so I don't take this in raids. Now, Fortify I take because it's amazing, and Bolstering Strike for the skill, of course. Now, as you can see, there are 6 amps that are, missing. Usually I take Indomitable. If I don't take Indomitable, then I will definitely take full defense, and the other 2 points I would put in Deflect. Just how I skill mine. But usually it's gonna be Indomitable, so this is gonna be my build. Now, speaking of utility skills, defense grid, I mostly always have it, but you don't necessarily need to have it. The skills that in this build can be replaced depending on the situation, um, are the following. Defense grid, and you can either take an interrupt, a CC break, you know, whatever you feel like having, or whatever you needs, the boss needs. Very straightforward. So this is the skill that I sometimes replace. Any other skills? No, not really. In rare situations, I do replace Plasma Blast with a second interrupt, for example, or, Plasma Blast with a defense grid, and then I put an interrupt depending what I need, of course. If by any chance I need 2 interrupts or 3, then I would definitely take some points off bolstering strike. It's not ideal. I would definitely take some points off, and I would put kick tier 4 as an interrupt. Right. Now, having that said, let me just quickly show you how I start a fight in raids, because I know some of you have been whispering me in game too, so I can, also show you guys a little bit of how how skills look and how I start things. Usually what I do, it goes like this. It goes Plasma Blast for the initial threat, then I go into Polarity Field, Smackdown, I turn on my power link when I have 750 kinetic energy or more. So let me show you. So it's Plasma Blast, Polarity Field, 1-2 auto attacks, then comes the Smackdown, turn on my kinetic energy, and of course Bolstering Strike for the threat, and obviously for the initial hits that are gonna take down my shield. This is basically, as a tank, you have to remember you don't have like a 100% strict rotation. Tank and healer are the only 2 classes in Wildstar that can play a little bit more of a reactionary game, so that's really cool. It keeps you on your toes, and you kind of need to react on what's happening around you instead of always being focused on the precise rotation, not to miss it. So one of the reasons why I love playing tank. Besides that, I play a lot around my innate ability. If I know that the boss fight needs me to have lots of threat from the beginning, it's gonna be definitely Plasma Blast, a Polarity Field, Innate, one auto attack, Smackdown, continue, turn on Power Link, and then Bolstering Strike, of course. Now, that's my build, guys. That's how I run my raids. I wish you guys all the best. I wish you good luck. If you have any questions, in the comments below. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and lots of love.